Poem by Wilfred Owen, entitled 1914. War broke, and now the winter of the world with perishing great darkness closes in. The foul tornado, centred at Berlin, is over all the world, with Europe whirled, rending the sails of progress. Rent or furled are in all the arts and signs. Verse wails, now begins the fairness of thought and feeling. Love's winds thin. The grain of human autumn rots, dead down hurled. For after spring has blossomed in early Greece, a summer blaze her glory out with Rome. An autumn softly foul, a harvest home. A slow grand aid, and rich with all increase. But now, for us, wild winter, and the need of sowing for new spring, and blood for seed.
Now a passage from the Old Testament from the prophet Isaiah. Councillor Lynn Duffy, the chair of the children.
In days to come, the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established as the highest of the mountains, and shall be raised above the hills. All the nations shall stream to it. Many people shall come and say, Come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, that he may teach us his ways, and that we may walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth instruction, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. He shall judge between the nations, and shall arbitrate for many peoples. They shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more.
Councillor Robert Raphael.
The third reading is The Messages, a poem by Wilfred Gibson. I cannot quite remember, there were 5 dropped dead beside me in the trench, and 3 whispered their dying messages to me. Back from the trenches, more dead than alive, stone deaf and dazed, and with a broken knee, he hobbled slowly, muttering vacantly. I cannot quite remember, there were 5 dropped dead beside me at the trench, and 3 whispered their dying messages to me. Their friends are waiting, wondering how they thrive, waiting a word in silence patiently. But what they said, or who their friends may be, I cannot quite remember. There were 5 dropped dead beside me in the trench, and 3 whispered their dying messages to me.
We gather to commemorate the outbreak of the First World War. The so-called war to end all wars. The war where, for the first time, the power of the Industrial Revolution was pressed into the service of human conflict, and which would create over 37 million casualties and end the lives of some 8.5 million souls, delivering human tragedy and loss on an industrial scale. In these moments we reflect on the bravery, heroism, folly and despair of those dark days, months and years, holding in our hearts the examples of human self-giving, and keeping the memory alive of the consequence of human folly, that we may know and learn to walk paths of peace. Councillor Charlie Homer, Mayor of Evesham.
Reading 4 is an account of an engagement which took the life of a man from Evesham, James Seddon Jones. He was a second lieutenant in the Worcester Regiment and was killed in action on September 3rd, 1916, aged 22 years. During the night of the 2nd-3rd September 1916, the 3rd Battalion were advancing in the front line at Tiepville Ridge. The light was slowly spreading when at 5:10 a.m. the British guns broke out into fire. Shells rained down on the Tiepville Ridge and the British battalions advanced to the attack. The two leading companies, A and B of the battalion, advanced across no man's land behind the barrage, plunged into the German trenches and overwhelmed the crouching defenders. Then they attempted to entrench the ground gained, but the trenches had practically been demolished. The enemy, realising the situation, opened an intense bombardment against the front line. Officers and men went down fast. Both the company commanders were killed, then the commanding officer. Lieutenant Colonel William Beresford Gibbs was also killed, aged 35, by the heavy shelling. He was later mentioned in dispatches for his actions.
Councillor Alan Booth, Chair of the Evesham Royal British Legion.
This is a reading from The Fallen by Lawrence Binion, the second verse of which is, of course, the exhortation of the Royal British Legion. They went with songs to the battle, they were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
They mingle not with laughing comrades again. They sit no more at familiar tables or home. They have no lot in our labour of the daytime. They sleep beyond England's foam.
Christian Scriptures, the Gospel according to St. John. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. For those whose custom it is to pray, please join me in this prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven,
Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
When you go home, tell them of us and say, for your tomorrow we gave our today.
For those who have candles, this will be the time.
Thank you. Any more? Any more?
Turn to face the memorial. the blessing together. As the light fades, so it allows the earth to become one with the night. So the silence deepen in our lives and stillness in our souls. After the day's frenzy, let our hearts grow still. Give thanks for peace in our days and rest in our sleep. May our dreams disentangle our trapped hurt and sorrow. And awake afresh to the gift of new dawn. Amen.
just wanted to change hands.
Look at that. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it's very good.
So when is the news story about another village
Is that it?
And turn the light
I'm not joking, but what are you going to do for an hour? Stand about? No thanks.
I want to go up to the War Memorial.
Watch out though, because everyone's got a candle, they're all washing it out.
But no one's got air spray in there.
I was going to say, this seems like a real big health and safety. Why do you have to do this?
It's your candle and it's your responsibility.
Nice for everybody to take part. With the lights still on.
That's what I just said. So cheese are going to be in your restaurants, but they can do it.
Oh, that's not. Oh, that's.
What time is it meant to be? 11?
Between 10 and 11 it was supposed to be lights out.
Who's 11? Is this a small park?
Yeah.
Or is it actually just a grassy thing? That's really...
Quick had it gone there long and gone it the other way.
It would have been... Lots of issues, no brain.
Want to go that way, Evan?
Yeah, let's go that way.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Very well lit at night, is it? Say it's not very well lit at night. Eh? Is that what? Well, what's left of it? It's got a tower left. Yeah. Church top of Bengeworth, and there's one in Hampton. No. Yeah.